With the featured article option, your press release will be placed as suggested reading on the Newswire homepage, right above the fold, as well as throughout the site. So whether the Newswire visitor lands on a homepage, or more commonly somebody else's story, perhaps because they followed a link on another website or found it on Google, it's much harder for them to leave without seeing your story. And just to show you how much harder, when this press release was featured, after its initial release, it jumped to 13,000 views in just one day. Now, we wanted to test out the power of featured story on its own merits, to isolate the surge a news story normally gets. So we waited until the views dropped and we featured it again. Once again, the number of views went up. We did the same thing the third time, just to be sure, and again the number of users that read the story skyrocketed. Now in this specific case, the bump was over 8,000% increase in traffic. Don't you just hate it when that happens? I was actually afraid to show this because it just sounds too good to be true, right? Well, I'm not sure about you, but I hate it when I see somebody flash their best data and leave out the averages. So we got into our database to pull the stats, and here are the numbers. Since we started featuring releases last month, featured articles averaged about 13,000 views per release. That's everything from stellar to run-of-the-mill content. And when we compare that to regular releases published over the same period, featured ones got over 12 times more views. Now, I'm not saying you will get 12 times the boost, that's just the average. But here's when you do and you don't want to use this feature to boost your release. Now, if you have a great image, something that arouses curiosity, you definitely want to get this option. Now, we found through testing that it's the images that most affect the featured article views. If you don't have a great image, you can do one of two things. You can A, uncheck this option, or you can get a better image. Now, I think that not getting a better image, which literally takes a minute, would mean that the time you already spent creating your press release was largely wasted. So here is how you can do that right now while this window is still open. In a separate tab, go to search.creativecommons.org and type your search. Now you can pause this video if you want to follow along. Now, click on any of the sites that serve images. This will search for images that can be used royalty-free with or without attribution. Now, I suggest an image that is at least 500 pixels along its shortest side. The bigger, the better. I also suggest always crediting the author. This will avoid any unpleasant situations where we have to take the image down because the owner of the image accidentally picked the wrong license. Now, if you can't find a good image, we do allow the use of images found using regular image search. But in that case, you must credit the owner and link to their site. It doesn't keep the image in your press release from being taken down in case of a complaint, but it will likely eliminate the complaints in the first place. Now, as for the bad news, there will be times when featuring your article will not be possible. This is the hottest option on Newswire, and since there are only so many articles that can be featured every day, the option is available on a first-come, first-served basis.